49, verse 8. Yehuda, ata yoducha achecha. Judah, your brothers will yoducha. What does that mean? Rashi says, we'll see what that means. Yoducha means will make you known. We'll see what it means. I wonder how Rabbi Steinsaltz translates it. Yadcha ba'oref oivecha. Your hand is on the neck of your enemy. Yishtachavucha b'nei avicha. The children of your father will bow down to you. Says the Rashi. Yehuda, hey! Wow. And here I was thinking you were afraid of the snow.
Baruch Hashem. The snow, but I got over it. Being brave doesn't mean not feeling fear. It means feeling fear and doing it.
No, in all seriousness, I shouldn't have even teased you. You have to be careful with the snow. Last year at this time, one of my kids, no, it wasn't 2 years ago at this time, one of my kids was driving in Kent Mill on a snowy day, and he skidded. It was like $3,000 on the van.
Really?
Yeah, just like on a regular road. The Kent Mill roads are not.
They do not pave.
They don't pave them, and you skid, and it's just like, and then you don't even think there's a lot of damage, but then you look underneath it, and there's tremendous damage. And that's when we were lucky that nobody got hurt.
Made it actually.
You made it. That's why I say you should just sleep here tonight.
The second hill, but then I went down and I made it up the other hill. Like
This hill?
I made it up with no hill, but then I didn't make it all the way up South Boat.
Okay, so let's
go down North Boat.
Let's see what it says here. Yehuda, Rashi says, Yehuda, Atayaducha, we're chapter 49, verse 8. Yaakov had cursed the earlier brothers. He had cursed Reuven, or not cursed, he had rebuked Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Bikinturim in harsh terms. Judah began to back away. He didn't want to be rebuked over the incident of Tamar. And so Jacob called out to them, Yehuda, Judah, you're not like them. Your brothers will make you known. Your hand will be on the neck of your enemy. The children of your father will bow down to you. You're going to be the hero. Rashi says, hello, Greg, how you doing? Your hand will be on the neck of your enemy. Be made David. This was in the time of David. It says, tatali oref. You have given me my enemies by the nape. B'nei avicha, they were from many women. Lo amar b'nei imecha, didn't say the mother of your son, like he said by Yitzchak. Okay, how you doing, Moshe?
Great.
Baruch Hashem. Okay, then he says, verse 9, Gur Aryeh Yehuda, a lion, Gur is a cub, a lion cub. So he says Judah is a lion cub. Al David Nitnave, he prophesied about King David. B'tchila Gur, at first David was a cub. Behot Shaul Melech Aleinu, when Shaul was the king over us. Ata ayita motziva meviat Yisrael, you're the one who took Israel out to battle and brought them back in. Ubesof, and in the end, Aryeh became a lion. Hishem lichu alayim, when the Israelites made him king over them. When David started off as a cub and he became a lion. And this is what it means when it says, Shalton Yehei b'sheruya. There will be authority at the beginning. Beginning of his career. We're chapter 49, verse 9. Miteref, Rashi says, Mima shaticha b'tarov toraf Yosef. From that which I suspected you with, Joseph was surely torn. Chaya ra'ah chalatu. An evil beast devoured him, and that was Judah. Meaning to say, I suspected you, but you were innocent. So here we seem to be saying that Judah was not responsible. Yaakov is saying, I suspected Yehuda of being the one who tore apart Yosef, but it wasn't true. Miteref b'ni alita, from the prey you ascended. Silakta tatzmecha. So here, this is it's so interesting. Rashi's going out of his way to say that Judah acted in a meritorious manner, even though the Gemara says you can't praise Judah for his actions with Joseph. But here it says, Rashi says, Silakta tatzmecha. You withdrew yourself and you said, Ma betza, what gain will there be? Tamar, you withdrew from the killing of Tamar, where Yehuda admitted she is more righteous than me. Therefore, Karara waits. Therefore, you're like a lion who crouched down. Like a lion who crouched down. Okay. So that's the verse. So he says, Miter pani alita karara vates. You crouch down and you lie down. Meaning to say, hey, Kobe, how you doing? It's a blessing for the future that Judah is going to crouch down and be victorious. And in days of Shlomo, it says, Ish tachas gifno. So it says, Karara vatskar, you crouch down like a lion, ukilavi miyukumenu, like an awesome lion who dares to rouse him. So basically, we have a few references to a lion here. We have the Gur, which is the baby lion. We have the Aryeh. We have the Aryeh, the Lavi. Lo yasur shevet mi Yehuda. The scepter will not depart from Judah. Umechokek mi bein reglav. Or the scepter from between his legs. Ad ki avo shilo v'lo yikasamim. So Rashi understands this to mean. Oh no, Gemara understands this to be a reference to the Messiah, and so does Rashi understand it as well. That the Messiah will always come from Judah. That's why we know that everybody at this table, except for Elon, is from the tribe of Judah. So Mashiach has to come from the tribe of Judah. Does that mean Elon can't be the Mashiach? I don't know. He could be, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it does seem to say that the Mashiach is going to come not from the Kohanim.
I'm okay with that, Rob. I like being a priest.
Yeah, Kohen is amazing.
Yeah. Mashiach dies anyways, right? So
no, everybody dies. Oh. There's nobody who beats death, except for Eliyahu and Avi.
I thought when Mashiach comes, nobody dies. Wait.
No, that's not true. Eliyahu and Avi is the one who doesn't beat death. And Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi never died because he jumped over the fence. And around Ksuva 66 says he jumped over the fence and got into the Garden of Eden. Nobody else makes it out.
There's a fence to the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, there was a wall around the Garden of Eden, and he grabbed the angel of death's sword and jumped over it. So he survives. And Eliyahu Navi goes around to every bris and every seder. He's had more bagels than anybody. But everybody else dies. Even in time of Mashiach, everyone will die. The Mashiach just means that there's sovereignty. Mashiach means the anointed king. That there's sovereignty for the Jewish people in this world, and we can obey the laws of the Torah. It doesn't mean that there won't be death. There is something called the resurrection of the dead, and that means that those people who are dead will be resurrected. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to die again. They're going to be resurrected and then die. So then you say, well, what's the point of it? And that's why people don't understand it. It's a very difficult concept, because resurrection of the dead is, if though it has a big riddle, if the world to come is the greatest possible thing, like you say, you're going to the best world possible, which is the world to come. And what would be the point of saying, well, now as a special reward, I'm going to take you out of that world and bring you back to this world and resurrect you? Why would we want that?
I think that the two worlds are going to merge and it's all going to become one world.
So it's someone to say, what someone to say is that we need that world, the world to come. Once we get there and we have such a greater insight into Hashem, then all the physical pleasures that we have in this world will be enhanced to an even greater degree, meaning to say that the two worlds each add something to the to make an incredible synthesis. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes. Yeah.
Is
Sure.
there anything we know like about Mashiach? Like it's all speculation, right? Like it never says
The
in the actual
Rambam-
Tanakh.
Very good. The Rambam himself says that we don't know about whatever's going to happen. This is why when Chabad was criticized severely for saying the Rebbe's still alive, and we said the Rambam says the Mashiach is not going to have been dead, he's going to be alive. Chabad said, oh, we don't know exactly, because Rambam says you don't know exactly. But that's,
But they know exactly.
no, I mean,
They genuinely think that he's still.
I think they're faking it. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't really. They're just. They're rolling with it. They're just rolling with it.
first of all, when you say they is, we don't know what they mean. Like, there's a lot of different opinions. You get two Jews in the room. You have that we don't even know what we think. So, but there's definitely a group within Chabad that believes one of two things. Some believe that the Rebbe will come back to be the Mashiach, even though he's not alive now, and some believe he's still alive. And yeah, and this.
Where is he?
Don't be of little, even after Shabtai Tzvi, who Shabtai Tzvi was? He was a false messiah, who so many people believed, including many rabbis, and then he converted to Islam. But even after he converted to Islam, many Jews believed that he was hiding in a cave, waiting to reveal himself to the world. So you can't argue with a true believer. You can't argue with facts. Like the Kings County coroner declared Rabbi Schneerson dead. You can't argue with that. You can't say, well, what about that? I know somebody personally, a very big Talmud, a very, very big Torah scholar, who says, I was at the funeral. I saw him with my own eyes, them carrying his coffin, and I still believe he's alive. So you can't argue with that. Yeah.
Wasn't the Shabtai Tzvi or whatever, wasn't that more like a cult following though?
When Shabtai Tzvi was when he was in his grandeur, it wasn't a cult. People were so desperate to believe in the Mashiach. He took over like the greatest rabbi of the generation sent him a note. The greatest rabbi, who's quoted every day as halachic opinion, the Taz, was sent a note to the Shabtai Tzvi saying, greetings to the Melech HaMashiach. So this was not, and even after he died, people still continued to believe that he was a Mashiach, and this became the leading rabbi of the next generation, whose name was Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz, was accused by perhaps a rabbi who was perhaps not as even great as him, Rabbi Yaakov Emden, accused Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz of being a secret follower of Shabtai Tzvi. And this became known as the Emden-Eibeshitz controversy. If you should look that up, the Emden-Eibeshitz controversy.
What year was that?
Look it up. It's probably the
What's it called?
I think it's the 18th century, but look it up exactly.
What was it called? The
Emden-Eibeshitz controversy. EMDEN. It's the Emden-Eibeshitz controversy. So they accuse each other, and he did write a lot of secret amulets. So anyway,
I just wanted to go back to what Elon asked about being a Cohen. The Rambam is the only one who criticized in the halacha the Chashmonaim of taking the melucha, but there were other halachic opinions that said, if that's what Hashem decided, then Ezra also was a Cohen, and so
very nice, very nice. So you're saying that Elon could be the Mashiach?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Hello, Binyamin. Hello, Binyamin. Yeah, we just said a Cohen could be the Mashiach. So, and then all of a sudden, and then the Cohen walks in.
Rob, I plan on being the Kohen Gadol, so there might be like a little problem.
There might be some controversy over who gets to be that. Yes, Reb Greg.
I'm just curious about the Tchias HaMesim and the Mashiach. That's two different.
The Tchias HaMesim and the Mashiach are two separate things. Tchias HaMesim is like a moment in time where there's the idea that Hashem will resurrect the dead. And the Mashiach is something to work towards, a concept that there'll be where like the perfection of the world. That the world will be working so hard that will come to this place where the world is at its most perfect place that it's ever been. It's also very controversial because how could you have perfection? You can't. So the Mashiach will bring us to the most perfect place we could ever get to. So, okay.
Well, if Hashem is involved, we can have perfection, right?
Only Hashem could be perfect, but not anything else. So, okay, so the pasuk says, "Lo yasur shevim Yehuda," the scepter will not depart from Judah. Midavid ve'elach, from David onward, meaning to say, oh, so Rashi's bothered by the fact that there will be rulers before David who were not from Judah. Who was the ruler before David? Saul and Ishbosheth, and they came from the tribe of Benjamin. And here they have in the footnote, Rabbi Yossi said, even though the Hasmoneans were Kohanim of the tribe of Levi, but the Hasmoneans were an aberration. So, okay. So Rashi is saying from the time David ascended to the throne, there'll never be any other ruler for the Jewish people. Everyone has to come from the tribe of David, which conveniently everyone here is except for the Kohanim.
Or converts.
Or converts. But anyway, you're not allowed to appoint a convert as king. That's a verse in the Torah. So it says, these are the exilarchs in Babylon. So there was, Rashi refers to, there was a leadership in Babylon that was called the Reish Galuta, the exilarchs. They were appointed by the royals, maybe the secular royals, secular authority, and they were in charge of the Jewish people. They had to come from the tribe of David. When I remember when I was at Yeshiva University, the president of the university was Rabbi Dr. Lamb. He was a very big Torah scholar, and he was also the university president. University presidents have a little bit of a tough going because they have to raise a lot of money. So they don't really have time for scholarship because they have to raise a lot of money. So there was one very, very, very distinguished Rosh Yeshiva. I'm not going to say his name. He's still around. He's still like the man. And he used to say, the Reish Galusa, the person who was in charge of the community, he was a Torah scholar, but he wasn't the biggest Torah scholar. He knew a little bit. He was like a university president. That's what he used to say. So we had a big chuckle about that. Anyway. And the scepter will not, or the rod will not depart from between his feet. Rashi says these are Talmidim. This refers to Yehuda will have students who will teach Torah to students who sit at their feet. We saw this in the Gemara. It used to be that the teacher would sit on a chair and everybody else would sit on the ground. So that's what this is a reference to. And Elun Nesiei Eretz Israel, these refer to the princes in Israel, that the princes also came from the tribe of Judah. Ad ki yavo Shiloh. What does the word Shiloh mean? Shiloh? Oh, wait. I'm going to stop the recording here for a moment. I have something top secret to tell everybody.